You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India enters League of Select Nations as it joins strategic alliance Pax Silica, which aims to build a resilient supply chain for critical minerals and AI. IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw says India is building the future and laying foundation for young generation. US says India's entry into Pax Silica not symbolic but strategic and essential. Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to hold bilateral talks with the visiting world leaders, including President of Sri Lanka and UN Chief Antonio Guterres on the sidelines of AI Impact Summit, focus on to add momentum to bilateral ties. Trump renews threat of military action against Iran, sets deadline of 10 to 15 days to make a deal or face consequences. India has formally joined Pax Silica, the US-led effort on artificial intelligence and supply chain security on the sidelines of the Global AI Impact Summit being held in New Delhi. The Pax Silica declaration was signed in the presence of Ashwini Vaishnaw, Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, and Jacob Hellberg, US Under-Secretary of State for Economic Affairs. US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, METI Secretary S. Krishnan, and other officials were also present. The name combines Pax, that is Latin for peace, and Silica, referring to silicon chips, symbolizes a stable, cooperative, and peaceful technological order. The declaration underlines the importance of a reliable supply chain, indispensable to mutual economic security, and recognizes AI as a transformative force for long-term prosperity. Pax Silica is the US Department of State's flagship effort on AI and supply chain security, advancing new economic security consensus among allies and trusted partners. The initiative was launched in December to build a secure, resilient, and innovation-driven supply chain for critical minerals and artificial intelligence. The declaration lays out a shared vision of deep economic and technological cooperation across supply chains, from raw materials through semiconductors and AI infrastructure, and commitment to mutual prosperity and security. The member nations of the Pax Silica include Australia, Greece, Israel, Japan, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, and United Kingdom. Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnaw, said that, I quote, "We are not just holding a summit here, but building the future." He said that the country has a direction, a clear goal, and we have to take global leadership in the semiconductor industry and the electronics industry.
We are not just holding a summit here. We are building the future. We are laying the foundation for the young generation. Today, our talented engineers are designing the most complex, most advanced 2-nanometer chips here in India. India is a trusted country, and that's because our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has conducted the foreign policy in a way where the trust and respect, the respect of a 5,000-year-old civilization, that gravitas, that जो भारत की civilization का ठहराव है, वो ठहराव आज दुनिया मानती है, वो gravitas आज दुनिया मानती है, और इसीलिए भारत पे trust.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai was also present at the signing ceremony and emphasized that the world is on the cusp of an era of hyper-progress and new discoveries through AI. He also highlighted the need for collective efforts to make AI benefits accessible to everyone and everywhere, highlighting the critical role of the US-India partnership.
I said we are on the cusp of an era of hyper-progress and new discoveries, but the best outcomes are not guaranteed. We must work together to ensure the benefits of AI are available to everyone and everywhere. The US-India partnership has a critical role to play. Google is proud to serve as a connection point between them, both figuratively and literally. I believe India is going to have an extraordinary trajectory with AI, and we are supporting with a full stack commitment, including products, skilling, and infrastructure.
Jacob Hellberg, United States Under-Secretary of State for Economic Growth, Energy and Environment, hailed India joining the Pax Silica declaration. He noted that it underscores the importance of economic security translating into national security and stands in the face of coercion and blackmail undermining the prosperity of nations.
Through the joint statement that we're signing today, the United States and India are affirming our embrace of a pro-innovation approach to AI against those who would constrain us to set us back. But our fundamental mission is not resistance, it's renewal. We are forging a supply chain that is the foundation for prosperity. We are building a new architecture that diffuses intelligence, placing the awesome power of AI into the palm of our people's hands and unleashing a wave of unprecedented possibility.
India's entry into Pax Silica is not just symbolic, it is strategic and essential. US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, said that India has made important strides towards critical mineral processing capacity. He called the summit as very impactful.
India's entry into Pax Silica isn't just symbolic, it's strategic, it's essential. India is a nation with deep talent, deep enough to rival challengers. India's engineering depth offers critical capabilities for this vital coalition. India brings strength. Peace doesn't come from hoping adversaries will play fair. We all know they won't. Peace comes through strength. India understands this. India understands strong borders. India understands this part of the world. That strength, that sovereignty, is exactly what Pax Silica amplifies.
As the world leaders converged in New Delhi for the India AI Impact Summit 2026, Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to hold bilateral talks with the visiting leaders to add momentum to the bilateral ties. On Thursday, Prime Minister Modi held extensive talks with French President Emmanuel Macron on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi. This is President Macron's fourth official visit to India. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi met Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, in New Delhi. Recalling the historical ties that underpin India-UAE ties, both the leaders discussed bilateral cooperation and expressed satisfaction at the progress achieved in various fields. The Prime Minister also Prime Minister Modi held a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister of Netherlands, Dick Schoof, on the sidelines of AI Impact Summit. Both the leaders exchanged views for harnessing AI as an enabler for economic and social transformation. And from here, we get to the bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Slovak President Peter Pellegrini. These are the visuals we're getting for you, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding bilateral talks with Peter Pellegrini, President of the Slovak Republic. This is happening on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit, and in continuation with the bilateral meetings the Prime Minister had yesterday, today we see him also meet other world leaders on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi here meeting President of the Slovak Republic, Peter Pellegrini, in the national capital. India-Slovak Republic relations are marked by long-standing friendship and also a rapid and modern economic growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi here meeting President of the Slovak Republic, Peter Pellegrini. Also at the India AI Impact Summit 2026, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminds us that artificial intelligence cannot be contained by borders. In a world divided by geography, science becomes our shared language, a source of facts we can trust, evidence we can verify, and knowledge we can exchange across the nations. He urged that with science at the heart of AI governance, let us not compete to dominate the future, let us come together to build it.
Science-led governance is not a brake on progress. It is an accelerator for solutions, a way to make progress safer, fairer, and more widely shared. It helps us identify where AI can do the most good the fastest. And it helps us anticipate impacts early, from risks for children to labor markets to manipulation at scale. So countries can prepare, protect, and invest in people.
As the India AI Impact Summit is underway in the national capital, we have some other reactions of prominent tech leaders from Indian and global firms, lauding Prime Minister Modi's AI vision of harnessing artificial intelligence to transform India into a global hub for innovation and inclusion.
The vision of the Prime Minister for the use of AI, the potential of AI, and how human-centric it should be, the need for it to be open, shared, and collaborative for benefiting every citizen and society in India and everywhere was remarkable and was hugely appreciated by everyone. The event brought together all the world leaders in AI and businesses and engaged in very, very fruitful conversations on what can happen in the future and how to work together. I would like to compliment the government under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for convening such a wonderful event.
I think there's an incredible opportunity for India across many different industries. I think the same way that India had leapfrog in mobile communication, mobile internet, that's the opportunity for AI, and we're very, very proud to play a small part into that.
I think his vision is very powerful and is very prescient. I appreciate that Prime Minister Modi is thinking about how AI not just benefits India, but through doing that can actually benefit and lift up many people in the world. And, you know, it's not just about the top, but it's about lifting the floor. So I think that's a very powerful vision. I think I'm impressed, he really appreciates AI as a technology and how India, you know, has sort of some unique abilities to both be a leader in AI and you know, how that can transform the Indian economy. But in so doing, that he really has a vision about how to think about the benefits for basically for the world globally. So I'm super impressed and appreciated being here and excited to invest more into India.
President Draupadi Murmu extended her warm wishes to the people of Arunachal Pradesh on the occasion of their Statehood Day. In a post on X, the President wrote, and I quote, "Warm greetings to the people of Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram on their Statehood Day. Both the states are blessed with pristine natural beauty, rich cultural heritage and enterprising people. These states continue to inspire with their remarkable contribution and commitment to national development. My best wishes for their sustained progress and prosperity for the people of both the states." In a post on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his greetings and wrote, I quote him, "Blessed with majestic landscapes and an extraordinary cultural diversity, Arunachal Pradesh stands as a shining example of harmony between tradition and nature. Its spirited and industrious citizens play a vital role in strengthening the nation's progress. At the same time, the state's diverse tribal ethos add immense richness to our nation. May the state continue to scale new heights of development in the times to come." You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, UK's former Prince Andrew released from police custody after being arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Deadly avalanche near Castle Peak in California, Sierra Nevada claims 9 lives.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you. With majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. US President Donald Trump has given a fresh ultimatum to Iran, asking Tehran to make a meaningful deal in negotiations with Washington in the next 10 days, or else bad things happen. The statement came amid the military buildup in the West Asian region. The warnings were issued days after the US and Iran held a second round of Omani-mediated talks, this time in Geneva, with the US seeking to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. Something it says it is not pursuing, and Iran seeking relief from US sanctions. Trump has repeatedly threatened military action against Iran, at first over a deadly crackdown on protesters last month, then more recently over its nuclear program.
Well, we're either make a deal or we're going to get a deal one way or the other. We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them. I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
Trump's comments came shortly after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued his own warning to Iran, saying if the Ayatollahs make a mistake and attack Israel, they will receive a response they cannot even imagine. Speaking on Wednesday, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian insisted, I quote, "We do not want war," but suggested that Tehran could not give in to the US demands. A previous attempt at negotiations collapsed when Israel launched surprise strikes on Iran last June, beginning a 12-day war that Washington briefly joined to bomb Iranian nuclear sites. Denmark's Maritime Authority had detained an Iran-flagged container vessel anchored in the Nordic country's waters on the grounds that it was not properly registered. The ship, using the name Nora, was initially sailing under a Comoros flag, but Comoros informed Denmark that the vessel was not found in its registry. LSEG data showed the Nora is now under the Iranian flag. The Nora shares the same International Maritime Organization number as a vessel formerly named Cirrus, a container ship on the US Treasury's sanctions list. The vessel has been lying idle in the past 25 days. US President Donald Trump convened members of his newly formed Board of Peace on Thursday, gathering world leaders in Washington to advance his plan for stabilizing Gaza. Trump announced that the US would contribute $10 billion to the Board of Peace, an amount he said was small compared to the cost of war. He also said that other Board of Peace members had donated roughly $7 billion in total, and that several countries committed to send troops and police to help stabilize Gaza. Trump said contributing nations had raised $7 billion as an initial down payment for reconstruction, though the effort faces major tests, including the disarmament of Hamas. During the event, speakers approved the 20-point plan and offered their assistance on its implementation. Indonesia pledged up to 8,000 troops for an international stabilization force, while Egypt backed Trump's framework and said it would continue training Palestinian police and supporting early recovery efforts in Gaza. Qatar committed $1 billion to the board's mission, and the United Arab Emirates announced $1.2 billion in additional aid. India also attended the inaugural meeting of Board of Peace on Gaza as an observer country. India was represented by Charge d'Affaires at the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C., Namgyal Khampa. India has not joined the Board of Peace, which has been set up by Trump for the redevelopment of the Gaza Strip. Indonesia and the United States signed a landmark reciprocal trade agreement on Thursday in Washington, D.C. U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer and Indonesia's Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Erlangga Hartarto, formalized the deal. Following negotiations, the U.S. will maintain a 19% tariff on most Indonesian exports, reduced from an initial 32%, with exemptions for key commodities like coffee, chocolate, natural rubber, spices, and potentially nearly 1,700 others, including palm oil. In return, Indonesia will eliminate tariffs on over 99% of the U.S. products across sectors, address non-tariff barriers and accept U.S. standards on vehicle safety, emissions, medical devices and pharmaceuticals. U.S. President Donald Trump and Prabowo Subianto endorsed implementation towards a new Golden Age alliance. The agreement aims to rebalance trade, boost U.S. market access and includes major commercial deals worth billions in energy, aircraft and agriculture. It takes effect after legal procedures described as a win-win by officials. Britain's monarchy faced unprecedented turmoil as former Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was arrested on February 19th on the suspicion of misconduct in public office linked to sharing confidential trade documents with late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Police detained him at Sandringham Estate, searching properties in Norfolk and Berkshire, including his former Royal Lodge residence. However, Andrew was released under investigation later in the evening. He remains 8th in the line to the throne despite being stripped of titles last year. Meanwhile, King Charles III stated that the law must take its course, pledging palace support. Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre's family hailed the arrest as a victory amid ongoing probe into newly released files, while US President Donald Trump called it very sad for the royals. France has shattered its record for consecutive rainy days, with rain falling nationwide every day since January 14th, now totaling 37 days as of February 20th, surpassing the 2023 high of 31 days, as announced by France's National Meteorological and Climatological Service, Meteo France. Western regions, especially northern Brittany, endured their wettest January ever, triggering severe flooding along major rivers like Loire and Garonne. 4 departments remain under red alert, or in fact red flood alert, 13 under orange as heavy rains persist. Storm Pedro intensified conditions on February 19th, dumping more precipitation across the country, but milder, calmer weather is forecast for next week. Links to the escalating rainfall to a warming climate which boosts atmospheric moisture. Similar storms have battered the UK and Iberian Peninsula, while Central and Eastern Europe face persistent cold and snowfall.
So this Thursday, February 19th, we still have Storm Pedro, yet another one affecting our country, which brings a lot of wind, a lot of precipitation once again. But for the end of the week and the weekend, we are expecting much more anti-cyclonic weather, much calmer and even quite mild or even warm until the beginning of next week, particularly for the southern regions.
Comme par exemple la ville de Quimper.
A deadly avalanche on Tuesday near Castle Park in California, Sierra Nevada, claimed 9 lives, making it one of the deadliest in modern U.S. history. A group of 15 backcountry skiers, 4 guides from Blackbird Mountain Guides and 11 clients were engulfed while returning from a 3-day trip to Frog Lake Huts. 6 have survived, while some require hospitalization after self-rescuing in whiteout conditions. Rescuers located 8 bodies, although hazardous weather, heavy snow and ongoing avalanche risks halted further extraction on Thursday. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office said recovery efforts using snow machines, aircraft and possibly explosives will extend into the weekend. Tahoe National Forest lands in the area shall remain closed until March 15 to aid operations and ensure safety. Blackbird Mountain Guides mourned the loss of 3 experienced guides and 6 clients, noting investigations are underway amid questions about conditions. Speaking exclusively to DD India correspondent Vishal Baristow, Deputy Commander of the Royal Netherlands Navy speaks about the mutual cooperation between the 2 countries and the growing challenges in the Indian Ocean region. Take a look.
India has assumed the chair for IONS for the next 2 years, and I have with me the Deputy Chief of the Royal Netherlands Navy. Let's talk to him and find out. First of all, the Indian Navy Chief spoke about the challenges. So how do you see the challenges, especially in the Indian Ocean region?
Well, first of all, we are very grateful from the Royal Netherlands Navy to be here in this important event. We are one of the observing nations. I totally agree with the Indian Admiral when he spoke about the challenges. And I think the most important thing is that in a multilateral situation where we are in right now, in this forum, this symposium, we can discuss those challenges and we can learn from each other to face them.
Now, when we talk about the growing partnership between India and the Netherlands, so how do you see both countries?
Well, again, we are very grateful for the opportunity we are having. And I think India and the Netherlands are getting closer to each other every year. For example, this year we have one of our ships. It will visit one of the ports of India just to show our relationship we are having. Because it's important for the Netherlands, the Indian Ocean region. It's important for the Netherlands, so therefore we would like to show that as well. And we send one of our ships on a tour around the world, and the first harbor it will enter is here in India.
So there you hear the Deputy Chief of the Royal Netherlands Navy. Both countries are getting closer and stronger, and yes, the challenges are there, and both are there to face them together. With cameraman Ramakant in Visakhapatnam, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
That's it in this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.